Welcome once again, fellow girls, guys, and gamers. This is Small Archangel welcoming you to this episode of Rising World, the medieval series. And here's our marketplace. So I've changed the well, basically. I've made it look a little bit more like a sort of medieval well. It's quite a large one because it's basically the well for the entire sort of town or village settlement. So we've got a kind of a roof on there, and I've even sort of mocked up a bit of a crank handle as well, as if we had a bucket kind of dangling from that. But that's one thing that we can't very readily do in game, so I haven't done that. But it gives it the right kind of appearance, doesn't it? It might be a little bit on the tall side, but I'm not sure, to be honest. I think it's probably about right. So there we go. You can see in the background over there our woodsman's hut, which is now suitably surrounded by woodland, and I'm going to extend that woodland out as well. One of the things I love about this game is not just the ability to build, but the ability to sort of terraform and shape the landscape a bit as well. Our farm, meanwhile, is over there. We've got actually a few animals in the pen there, sort of all half in and half out. They seem to be attracted to my walls, but as you can see, they kind of clip through them, which means that it's not too effective as an animal pen, really. Bring on animal taming and let me just kind of put them in there and trap them in there, because the other thing, of course, is that there's no such thing as a gate in the game either at the moment. So there we go. So, meanwhile, back at the ranch, or rather back at the blacksmith's, you can see I've done a little bit of work here as well. This is our smithy. Took me a bit of wrangling to get this roof right. Basically, in the end, what I had to do was change the angle of the beams to match the angle of the roof, which, of course, is a 45-degree angle, I guess, that our ramp blocks are at. I guess it is, because they're on a sheer diagonal. And really, there is nothing we can do other than stick with that unless we want to have a sort of a ramped roof, which just didn't look good. It just looked way too Minecraft for words. So the upper story of our smithy, in any case, is only going to go up to the top of that roof. So that's going to look about right in point of fact. And I've got some quite attractive looking cross beams going on as well. I've also altered our forge area ever so slightly because I felt that it was just a bit too big. So what I've done is I've lowered it down a bit, so it's roughly on ground level, which is where we want it. Yeah, I've actually got some iron ore in there as well, and I've fully fueled it up as well. So that's fueled and ready to go. This would be a water trough and would be full of water, but we can't really do that. If I try and empty a bucket of water in that, it's just going to puddle all over the floor, and it's really not going to be cool. So so much for that. And then we've got our chimney going way out the back there. I would like to have kind of like a metal chimney cowl kind of top on that, but I can't really do it. We haven't really got the blocks to sort of express that particularly well at this point. So we're losing the light, but what I want to do is, run sideways, place some window frames and a door in here, I think. Although I might just wait until, for the windows, I'm not quite sure if we're going to stick with the windows as they are, because what I want to do is sort of work out an interior layout, but we're not going to do that till we've finished building. So what I wanted to do ideally is have an arch door frame here, but we're not really going to be able to do that unless we can still place a door and have it kind of clipping through an archway. I guess that's worth trying, isn't it? I've got some lumber on me, so we're going to make a door and we'll place a door and then we'll see if we can do that. Doors. Old door. Yep, but not that one. Do we want one like that? Do you know what? I think we probably want one like that in point of fact, don't we? There we go. So we'll place that on here. Let's get it so it's opening outwards. No, it probably wants to open inwards, I guess. Is that going to open kind of that way? Yes, I think so. I think opening inwards is going to be better. So it should be. There we go. Lovely. All right. And now we'll just shut that again. And then we'll see, as an experiment, if we could place a couple of, and it's this stone, isn't it, I think. Stone favourites, that one there. And let's just see. Do I have any stone on me, in fact? No, I don't. How silly. I did have, I put it away. There we go. Yeah, I keep thinking I've actually put the stone there, but I haven't. It's just fooling me. There we go. We want two of those. Two. There we go. And it's dark, so I'm going to retire for the night in a moment. But first, I just want to see if this is possible. It looks like it's going to be, doesn't it? There. Oh, nice. Look at that. I've actually used the wrong stone block, haven't I? Don't. Never mind. But it does actually work. So that is kind of what I wanted. So I'm going to take those stone blocks out. We're going to put the right stone in. And then in the meanwhile, it's really, really dark. So I'm going to head to my bed for the night. And then we'll come back with the lights here. You can see we've got our lanterns, but they're not overly effective. I don't think street lighting would have been particularly brilliant in medieval, though. So I'm not going to let that bother me too much. Alrighty, so on to the next stage then, which is, and I'm not sure if the chimney's going to be quite tall enough. Basically, the chimney's going to have to be a little bit taller than the roof, so it may be tall enough as is, but we're going to have to get some scaffolding up again, probably on the side wall here, and then we're going to place the next, we're going to basically finish building the smithy, because if we can finish building it, then we can start putting some more furnaces on the inside. I would like at least one more furnace on the inside, ideally. Now, oh, I have my scaffolding here. Okay, that's fine. So I'll have my scaffolding and we'll set that up. And then we're going to need, yeah, we are going to need stone. So I will grab a load of stone so we can get that set up. And I'm just going to put those back in there because I don't need those for the moment. And we might need to place it higher as well. So we'll just do that for the moment. And then we'll put this there. There we go. All right, and that should give us the height that we need to put in the next bit of wall. And this is going to be very much the same as we had the upper story of our farmhouse. So in other words, we're going to need, and it would make sense at this point to see if I've actually got any of those left at the farmhouse, wouldn't it? Okay, that was worth doing. I've actually got the best part of a couple of stacks of the stuff, so that's great. Now, we're going to want some windows up here as well, I imagine. But first we'll just get this started. So we're going to need this to go all the way around. Oh, there we are. And height wise, as I say, probably going to want to be the same height as this roof here. Like so. Okay, so probably about that kind of height. Okay, there we go. We've run out of blocks, of course. And we're going to have to make some more. But it's sort of taking shape. So we're going to have a window on the end here, opposite or above the window we had below. I'm not sure about putting a window at the back there. I think we probably ought to, perhaps. And then maybe one at that end as well. But the upstairs is going to be mostly storage. Downstairs we're going to have our tools. So we're going to have workbenches and what have you down here, of course. And then we're going to hopefully have a furnace as well. But if we might need to use upstairs as overflow storage space rather, because the furnaces really do need to go on the downstairs, on the ground floor. But for the minute we're going to need rather more. Oh no, I've got a few stacks of that, so that should be enough. We should have a few more stacks of this. Alright, there we go. So I've decided to put two small, sort of more slit-sized windows in the back wall there upstairs. Oh, and then I haven't placed that in the right position, have I? That's annoying, because I'm not sure if I can reach that from here. Oh, I can. Good. I can't reach to pick up the block. There we go. There we go. That's better, isn't it? And that one is definitely in the right position. There we go. So, I'm not sure if we'll need to make the walls one block higher up there. We may do, we may not. Of course, we haven't got a wall. We haven't got a window at the front here. I could have put a small one above the door, perhaps. But it's not a house. It doesn't need lots of windows. It doesn't need lots of light. So, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now, we're going to need to make some thatch. We've got some thatch left over, but we're going to need to craft some more, and then we're going to need to sort our beams out as well. I've got some spare blocks to place in here. I'm keeping all my spare blocks in here, but for the moment we've got quite a bit of this. We're going to need, oops, we're going to need dirt because we're going to need to make some more. I can guarantee we're going to need to make some more of these. Those ones right there, 128. We're maybe not going to need quite that many. And I forgot, of course, our gable ends. So, silly me, we're going to have to put some gable ends on this as well. And I thought with this one that we'd actually have the gable ends on, well, obviously we should have the gable ends on the narrower sides like this, which means that we'll have our roof pieces going in sort of opposite directions, if you like, our roof peaks. But that's going to be quite effective, I think. It's going to look quite good. Is that right? Yes. That's the one, like that. And then we're going to have to do the same the other side. And hopefully I can do this without injuring myself even more, because I'm still recovering from the last fall I took in the last episode. Let's see if we can do that. Then that, and then we just got 2 more in the middle there, and then we're good to go. Alright, so I'm no doubt going to need, I keep thinking my character is wearing a dressing gown. It really looks like a dressing gown to me. We're probably going to need, rather than, I'm not quite sure why I've got the square ones actually. We're going to need, we're not even going to need any of those for down the top, because the top of this roof is actually going to work out right, isn't it? We're going to have it go like that, and then all the way to the top, in actual fact, unless I decide to make it flat. In some ways I think thatch kind of does look better flat, so I might just leave it flat. We'll see what it looks like when we're done. Now this is just going straight into our thatch. So actually what we might need some slightly more creative sort of building there, just on the corner there. We'll have a block that goes around that corner, and that will look good, I think. But then in the other direction it's going to be fine. We've got our chimney there, so that can just go straight to there, I think, can't it? But yeah, having thatch go around a little bit of the corner there is perhaps a good idea. Actually, maybe here it needs to do that as well. There we go. And then I guess we're going to need our square blocks. So we do need the odd square block here. There we are. And then that kind of meets up nicely, which is good. We could technically have this a completely pointed roof as well, couldn't we? Because I've decided this one to take it all the way up to the peak. But this one I don't know, I quite like it sort of, ow, there we go, fell off the roof again. I quite like it with a little bit flat. I don't know, I might experiment with making it sort of yeah, pointed or not, but I quite like it at that height, really. So that's more or less got that. Now obviously it's looking a bit nude because we haven't got our half timbering yet, and that is something that we definitely need to do. So we've got a little bit of it there just because it's, you know, underneath our roof here, and whether I'm going to make the timbering that I put on the walls kind of go through that, I suppose I ought to, in a way, because that's you know, that's part of the porch structure rather than part of the house structure itself. So that's what I need to do now. I'm going to need to make a lot more wood beams and place those. Look at these guys. They're just Animal-mageddon. They're just everywhere at the moment. They're crazy all over the place. They're just begging to be hunted. Okay, construction. Wood beam. Here we go. And we're going to need a bunch of these. Yep, that's the ones right there. There we go, folks. Half timbering completed. It's a bit of a long labour, which is why I've basically done it pretty much off camera. It just seemed like the easiest thing to do. Besides which, a certain amount of focus required to get it in the appropriate places. So, whoops. We're not going to need that thatch anymore, so I should probably rationalise the blocks that I'm carrying and get rid of some of them, because otherwise we're going to end up with a bit of a full inventory. And then after that, we're going to need to think about making some stairs. So while we're in here, we may as well have a look and see if there's anything that we're going to be able to use as stairs. Well, we have some stairs here actually, so I'm wondering if that's going to be the right block to use. It would make sense to use blocks that we already have. And we're going to need to be able to get upstairs in this building, obviously. And where should our stairs be? Well, we have a window there, but we can always close windows up if we need to. The sensible place would be on the back wall there. But we are going to need to put a furnace somewhere. We could put it smack bang in the middle there, provided that it doesn't interfere with the stairs. Putting a furnace underneath the stairs would probably not be a particularly smart move, really. But we could quite easily just fill in this gap here, this window here. So I think that's probably going to be the sensible thing to do, to be honest. Now, the floor is going to be at this level here, so I'm not going to worry too much about putting our stairs here. And this is the same material as we actually have our... Yeah, let's just fill in this window. There we go. We can put in a small window like we did at the farmhouse if we decide that's the way to go. But for the moment, there we are. And of course, we're going to need to go probably to about that height. And probably the block beyond. Let's see, where's our floor going to be? It's only going to be relatively low up here. Our floor level's going to be here, isn't it? Realistically, it's going to be at that level right there. So we're going to have to put in another couple of stairs. There we go. And then if I just fill this all in with stone, I think that's probably going to be the best thing to do. Alright, so now we're going to need some wood blocks. I've got some wood in my inventory, so we're going to need wood planks for the flooring upstairs, and it's going to need to be suitably kind of, yeah, like that, I think, actually. We'll just add that to our favourites, because I think those wood boards there are going to be pretty good for a lot of our builds. Either that or something really rough like that. Let's have the rougher ones, actually. We've already got these in our favourites, and we'll just make... Oh dear, that's more than I can make. Okay, let's go for 78 and see how we do. We'll almost invariably have too few, but I'd rather have too few than too many at this point, because it takes an awful lot of trees actually to make a floor. So there we go. But wood floor is realistically where it's at for us here. And like we did in the farmhouse, probably we're not going to want to take this floor all the way over to our stairs, but it is going to want to occupy. We could even have kind of like a mezzanine loft kind of thing going on, rather than, oh, go on, place it, there we go, rather than it occupying the whole of the floor. So particularly if we have a furnace or something, that's going to need to vent through the roof, in point of fact, isn't it? We're going to need our furnace to vent through the roof, so maybe a whole floor upstairs is not going to be the thing. We should perhaps put our furnace on the inside, just opposite that one, actually, against this wall here, and then the chimney can go straight up through and join. I think that's probably going to be the sensible thing to do, isn't it? And then they can share the same flue. But I've just noticed that I haven't actually finished the inside of the roof up here either, and of course we're going to have interior beams to do as well. But I'm gonna finish this floor first. I'm gonna take it up to, I don't know, well, here really, actually, just across like that, so that we've got most of the space up here that we can use for sort of yes, storage, but also placing some crafting tables as well. And yes, we're going to have sort of a chimney or a flue going up there perhaps, or maybe we don't need one because the flue's on the outside. So and then we'll need a floor in here, and then we're going to place our smelter, I think, and then we're going to leave the rest of it to sort of, maybe I'll do it off camera or something. I'm just going to place some workbenches and things in here, but I'm going to finish that roof first. Well, there we are, finally done. The beams can take quite a little time to sort of get into the right position, especially when you accidentally destroy them when you're trying to place them. But never mind, we've got the roof done now, and I've also got the flooring done too, which means that we're probably going to be able to place some window frames in here as well, although these almost look like they're framed already, but I will put window frames in also, just because the woodwork then looks kind of authentic. We could perhaps also do with a couple of poles around the top of the stairway there, actually, so let's just think about doing that. They want to be, oopsie, they want to be thinner than that, and of course longer, and that'll just kind of finish off. That's annoying. I'll make it a little bit shorter, and then we're going to need to, oh, I'm making that the wrong direction, I think. We need to make that shorter. Okay, that's as much as we're going to get there, and then another one at that end, just a smidgen longer. There we go. And that sort of finishes that off as well. Great stuff. Okay, so we're about finished in here, apart from the furnishing, which means what we really need to do here is place a floor. We're losing the light again. This happens a lot while I'm playing. I find that even fairly simple builds can leave me with very little time left over. Let's see, we can make a full stack of those, and I've also got some, actually, have I got them in my inventory already? I believe I have. Nice, okay. And these, I think we're going to use these mossy cobbles for the courtyard here. So I'm going to fill in our courtyard area with these. There we go. And then hopefully that's going to give us enough outside space. Again, we're going to perhaps have a workbench out here as well. And definitely we're going to have some barrels and such, just because they'll look authentic as well as being... let's see, can we just do that? Yes, there we go. That's finished. That looks nice. So we can have some storage out here as well, which is fab. But looks like it's time to retire for the night, and then all we've got to do after that is place the flooring inside and our second interior smelter, and then after that I think I'll probably finish the place off camera, just because it makes life a lot easier, because it's just going to be the placing of a lot of storage and our workbenches too. So, looking into our storage to see what blocks we have available, we have quite a lot of these stone ones, and to be honest, I think they're probably going to be the best thing for the inside. We're probably not going to have enough of them, but they're probably the ones that we've used to make the chimney with, I have a feeling are going to look the best as our floor in here. So let's just test that hypothesis. Yeah, I reckon so. We definitely want stone in here anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place stone here, prioritize the area where our other primitive smelter is going to go, and we'll just try and get that bit filled in for the moment, and then we're going to make a smelter and place it there, and we're going to do the same kind of thing. So I'm going to need some more of these blocks as well, because there we go, run out, because we're basically going to make the mirror image of that only on the inside. As you can see, I've done a little grid there, which means that we're going to be able to sort of get through to fuel it up. I've tested it, you can fuel it through that, so it's all good. So yes, I'm going to need to make some more of those, but we're going to need to get some stone and make ourselves another primitive furnace or smelter or whatever it's called. Let's see, get myself a bunch of that, because I'm going to need some stone for our for more flooring anyway. And then we can make one of these. Probably the easiest thing to do is just make it in our own inventory. Here we go, bang. And then we're going to need, just get those out of my hotbar. Then we're going to need some more of these blocks. There they are. And we're also going to need some that are sloping too, but not that many. Okay, here we go. So we've got to get this absolutely on the other side of there. Let's just hit G. Now that looks to me like it's kind of facing the correct direction already, but I don't think it is it? No, we need it to face absolutely the opposite direction, like so. And it's got to be 2 full blocks away from the window. So looks like that needs to be, oops, it's got to be that way around there. And, oh, is that right? I think it needs to be there. I'm pretty sure that's correct. There we go. And we're going to need to encase that in precisely the same way as we have here. So I'm just going to get hold of these blocks and get stuck behind that pillar again. And I think this is 4 blocks wide. Okay. So we're going to have a block there. Okay. I'm fairly sure this is an accurate reflection of what we have on the outside. And here we need our arched pieces, like so, as well. And then we have another block on top of that. Yep, and then this is our flue here. And we have 2 pieces here, which we place like that and like that. And that about finishes it off, apart from, and that should be pretty symmetrical, apart from, of course, the grill for fueling the thing up is actually on this side this time, which is a little more awkward, quite honestly. I'm not sure I can even, oh, I can just about reach it, I think, but let's hope so, because that's a little bit awkward if not. That one might not be quite so easy to access. And then we're going to need our metal grill there. Oh, I think I didn't put any blocks in the bottom of that one. It might actually look better with them there, but I'm not entirely sure. So there we go. So we're going to need a grill on the front of that one there as well. And then other than that, pretty much finished. So we're going to need to put some more flooring in here. I need to make a few blocks more. Oh no, I don't. I've got some already, so that should just about finish the job off. And then, as I say, all that remains really is for me to bring my workbenches in here too. That's that done. And then we're going to put our workbenches upstairs largely, I think, although I might put some down here. We've got a grinder that I want to place outside, I think, although, yeah, it's quite big. I don't think I want to put that on the inside, but you never know, it might fit there. And I did make one for the purpose. So I've got a bit of finishing off to do here. I've got some window frames to place as well, and then racks of storage and stuff. And I will show you guys the finished product in the next episode. And then we have got our completed smithy, which means that it's going to be a lot easier for us to continue making our build from here on in, because we've got somewhere to use as a storage house and workshop closer to the town, and in fact pretty much in the heart of the town. Not that there is a town yet, but you know, bear with us and we will get there. I'll also be adding some lighting, and I think we'll have to contrive some way of making kind of hanging signs or something a bit like this, because I'd love to have hanging signs saying, you know, blacksmith in tannery. All that kind of stuff would be pretty cool. So I hope in the meantime you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you have, you know the drill. Let me know by hitting that like button, and also feel free to hit me up in the comments there. Let me know what you think. Give us your suggestions for places, you know, buildings and things that are a must-have for our medieval town. And I hope you'll join me for the next episode of Rising World. Until then, I think this pig's drinking from the well, which is a little inconvenient because I need to drink from the well. And I'm hoping that this will actually prevent me from falling in, but I'm not going to be too complacent on that score. There we go. Next time we play Rising World. Until then, keep gaming, keep surviving, and stay happy. Bye-bye for now.